Welcome back. We're having so much fun with Dr. Uma Naidoo. She is Harvard and Cambridge trained psychiatrist and professional chef. I can't even think of a better combination. It's so much fun talking about all of this. And she has a new book out that we're talking about. This is Your Brain on Food. Comes out August 4th. And I love this. I actually like the timing. I know no one wants to have a book coming out right now because of the timing, but I like the timing. And I'll tell you why. We talked a little bit about it in the last episode. So welcome back, Dr. Naidoo.
Thank you.
The last episode, we talked a little bit about why this is actually a good time because people are more anxious, more depressed. But also, I practice martial arts. And one of the reasons I practice martial arts is because I like the empowerment as someone who felt disempowered as a child. I like doing something that makes me feel empowered. Well, right now, people are more anxious, more depressed because they don't feel empowered. They feel out of control. But you're home. And we're calling it the COVID-19, the 19 pounds, right? You can do something right now. You're home. So this is a great time to start getting control of your diet. And we'd love to just talk to you about what are some simple things people can do to get started on your program.
Well, and also the foods to really treat anxiety.
Because they're a little different, right?
Exactly. So
whenever you learn, post it on any of your social media sites. And you can pre-order this book. Go to Uma Naidoo, Naidoo, MD.com.
Naidoo. So Uma, UMANAIDOO.
MD.com. All right. Enough for all of it.
Thank you so much. These are great questions. Thinking of the name of your podcast, I think that we all, like you just said, we kind of have to pull out the warrior in ourselves and see that's with an A and not an O, because if we're worried, that doesn't help. But we can actually use, food to really build up our armor. For example, a couple of things that have happened over COVID. That anxiety, people who weren't previously anxious are now quite anxious, even wanting to see a doctor for medication. Zoloft is on shortage in certain dosages. And so one of the pharmaceutical, I think it was one of the prescription companies, did a survey, and the prescriptions for anxiety have doubled or quadrupled. So we understand that people are struggling. And so I think that if we can embrace certain foods just to help lower anxiety, that could really reduce our stress levels. And things I like to suggest to people are things like turmeric with black pepper. You can add it to a smoothie. You can add it to any food. If you don't cook with it, put it in your soup. Make a tea with it, or even in like I said, like in a smoothie. The black pepper, we understand, activates the curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric, by a huge percent and makes its absorption better. So that's a great and easy tip that if you can purchase that in the supermarket, it's quick and easy to do. All you really need, is a quarter teaspoon a day. You can have more. It's not going to be toxic by, it's a very large range of the amount you can eat, but really you only need a quarter teaspoon a day with a pinch of black pepper. Now, with omega-3 supplements, they've been around for a while, and I love people to embrace that through food, because I think that well-sourced salmon, mackerel, herring, some of those types of seafood really contain some good omega-3s in it. And the cool thing is that you're also going to help out mood symptoms, and it's going to target anxiety too. So that's always a good way to go. Then the other suggestion is vitamin D. It's been shown in trials to help anxiety. So I try to ask people to do that. But then I also think, like you mentioned about how we've outlined it in the book, it's helpful for people to know what to avoid too. And the things are the unhealthy fats. So things that are going to get that ratio of the omega-6 and omega-3 out of whack. So, the oils that we try to avoid, the highly processed foods, also foods with gluten for anxiety were found to be slightly problematic. So those are things you want to stay from, and also artificial sweeteners. So a lot of the artificial sweeteners can actually drive anxiety the wrong way. And so I try to give people just a little cheat sheet around some of those to start with.
Which sweeteners do you like?
So, when I try to help people who like super sweet food or have a sweet tooth that they want to improve, the two that we suggest, if you're trying to come off sweeteners, are stevia or erythritol. And that's partly related to the mechanism related to insulin. Yeah. So, and if you can come off it eventually, better, because maybe, we might find something wrong with them in the future. Right. As you know, nutritional research changes day by day. Almost any day you can find one study for and one study against something. But I think these are general guidelines. If you like sweet stuff, try those, and over time, try to move towards more natural sources of sugar.
Although what you said, I don't think is going to change. Omega-3 fatty acids
that's not going to
take up so much of nerve cell membranes. Colorful fruits and vegetables, probably not going to change. Spices like turmeric. I'm a huge fan of oregano,
rosemary, absolutely.
Well, what I love is what you're saying is basically natural foods are medicine. You're using natural foods as medicine.
Food is medicine, absolutely.
Exactly. It's either or it's poison. But when you're talking about some of the less natural forms of sweeteners, I think that's what you're referring to with the studies. We couldn't agree more. We recommend stevia and erythritol currently. And I always tell people, don't be attached to your message, be attached to the current research coming out, because it changes.
Absolutely.
So now, that's the best we know.
Exactly. So, that was what I meant. And I exactly want to emphasize all of the other stuff. I think that we know is pretty it has been tried and tested for years. Exactly. Right. And with sweeteners, we just want to be a little bit more cautious. But I also understand that we're a nation that likes sweet food. Right. It's culturally, this is a nation that eats sweet foods at breakfast. That's not the case in all parts of the world. So I think that just giving people some guidelines is always helpful. Yes. Right. Thank you for clarifying that.
So in the table of contents, you have the gut-brain romance.
I love that.
Think about
I love that.
The gut all the time.
Absolutely.
And my patients.
And people actually comment on it. They're like, "Why are you talking about my gut? I came here because I'm depressed."
Or depression, probiotics, omega-3s, and the Mediterranean eating pattern. And so there we are.
I feel like you two are thinking. Yeah.
Again. And so when some people hear the Mediterranean eating pattern, Tana and I both love Italy. Almost all of our best vacations are Italy.
Italy,
yeah. They have all this pizza and pasta. Yeah. So I'm getting a sense that's not really what you mean, right. That pizza and pasta in the local Italian eatery is good for your brain.
I'm not sure that's how the locals eat, though, all the time. If you go down to the Mediterranean.
Exactly. I love that, though. It's so true. I've understood, and I don't know enough about culinary history, although I'm very interested in it. That pizza is more of an American food. Yeah. However, you're absolutely right. Pizza parlors, huge pasta dishes are what people associate with that. But we really referring to 2 points about that, and I thank you for bringing it up. I use Mediterranean eating pattern because I find that the word diet to my patients indicates they have to give up something, that they have to restrict something or they can't eat. And I'm all about sharing with them how many things they can eat, because then they immediately start to feel better, like they're not going to feel deprived. And there's less of that boomerang effect of, let me restrict this food, and then 3 weeks later I eat 2 tubs of ice cream, that kind of effect that many people experience. And it's quite normal when you're trying to do that. So I use that, use the eating pattern just to be easier, right. More easily explained to my patients. And then the second point about it is we're talking about the Mediterranean region. So, a lot of the diet actually includes healthy fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, seafood, really fresh, healthy seafoods that are well sourced, and they enjoy, and then olive oil as the healthy fat that is used to prepare them. So even if they do eat pasta,
that's what you meant.
Well, we've taken 2 Mediterranean cruises, and we've been to Rome, and we've been to the in like other parts of Italy. Other parts of Italy are more touristy, and you'll see more pizza and pasta. But when we took the Mediterranean cruises, we really did, like even Greece and all those areas. I remember trying to order something else besides fish off the menu, and she kept shaking her head no. She's like, it's too heavy, it's too hot, it's too heavy. And I'm like, why is she telling me what to eat? And so they give you a salad and fish and olive oil and vinegar, and that's it.
That's
and so it's really interesting because the real Mediterranean areas, that is how they eat, especially during
That is how they eat. Exactly. And I appreciate Dr. Amen giving me, an easy question that I could answer this. So thank you. Thank you for setting that up so beautifully.
I was just, people might have seen me typing on my phone. And I know we don't like the word diet because the first three letters of diet are die. Yet, I would call this the big brain diet, or is the small brain. And so I often tell my patients when they go to choose something to eat, just ask themselves this simple question: this is good for my brain, or is it bad for it?
Right.
And ultimately, once they read your book, they're going to have the clear answer to that. But it's also another question, I just thought of it, is do I want a big brain or do I want a small brain? And in large part, that's not genes. That's what you put in your mouth that determines the size of your blue jeans. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk more about anxiety, but I'm going to talk about PTSD and ADHD as well. Stay with us.
If you're enjoying the Brain Warriors Way podcast, please don't forget to subscribe so you'll always know when there's a new episode. And while you're at it, feel free to give us a review or 5-star rating, as that helps others find the podcast.
If you're considering coming to Amen Clinics or trying some of the brain healthy supplements from BrainMD, you can use the code podcast10 to get a 10% discount on a full evaluation at amenclinics.com, or a 10% discount on all supplements at brainmdhealth.com. For more information, give us a call at 855-978-1363.